So you've landed that dream job overseas, maybe in Singapore, London, or Dubai. You've packed everything up, said your goodbyes, and you're thinking your old life in the States is completely in the rearview mirror. But what if it's not? What if your old state could still reach across the globe and demand a cut of your foreign income? Yeah, let's break down this really surprising and frankly expensive reality that a lot of American expats run into. Just picture this for a second. You're a year and a half into your new life, everything's going great, and then this letter shows up. This is not some made-up scary story. It is a very real situation that catches thousands of Americans completely off guard. It can turn that expat dream into a total financial nightmare.
And here's the thing you have to understand. This isn't some rare fluke or mistake. It's a completely legal, very intentional system that many states use to keep taxing you long after you've moved thousands of miles away. The tax authorities in your old home state might, in their eyes, still consider you one of them. And that's the question everyone asks, right? How on earth can a state you don't even live in anymore have any claim on the money you're earning in a totally different country? Well, the answer comes down to a single, really powerful legal idea that, honestly, most people have never even heard of. And that idea, that word, is domicile. This is the key that unlocks this whole puzzle. Seriously, understanding the difference between where you live and where your domicile is can save you tens of thousands of dollars. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up we have residency. Now, this one's pretty straightforward. It's all about where you are physically. Most states have a simple 183-day rule. If you're physically present in the state for more than half the year, you're a resident. So when you move abroad, you obviously don't meet that test anymore. Simple enough, right? But this is exactly where the trap gets set. Because states also have this other concept, domicile. Now, this has nothing to do with where you're physically sleeping at night. It's all about your permanent legal home. It's the place you truly intend to return to. And the most important thing to get here is that domicile is sticky. It just clings to you until you take very deliberate action to establish a new one somewhere else. All right, so let's put these two head to head. Residency is simple. It's your physical location, where you are. Domicile, on the other hand, is about your legal intent, where your permanent home is supposed to be. See, when you move abroad, you lose residency in a snap. But your domicile, that stays right where it was, unless you do something about it. And this is the perfect way to think about it. Your domicile is like a legal anchor. You can go take a job in Tokyo, rent a flat in Paris, you can sail all over the world, but from a legal standpoint, that anchor is still firmly planted in your old home state. And as long as it's there, that state has a right to say you're still on the hook for taxes. Now, while lots of states use this concept, let's be clear, some are way more aggressive about it than others. And two states in particular are notorious for chasing down expats, California and Virginia. Let's dig into exactly how they pull this off.
California starts with a pretty hostile position. They basically say, look, once a Californian, always a Californian, unless you can prove otherwise. The entire burden of proof is on you to show that you've permanently and completely severed every single tie to the state.
And what kind of proof are they looking for? Oh, they look at everything. Do you still have a California driver's license? Are you still registered to vote there? Do you still own a condo that you're just renting out? Where are your main bank accounts? Where does your closest family live? Every single one of these little threads can be used as evidence that your domicile is still, in fact, in California.
And here it is. This is the financial knockout punch. See, most American expats rely on something called the Federal Foreign Earned Income Exclusion, the FEIE, to avoid paying U.S. federal taxes on their salary. But California, they completely ignore it. For them, it just doesn't exist. Let's actually look at the numbers here. Let's say you earn $150,000 in Singapore. For federal tax purposes, you can exclude most of that and maybe pay very little. But if California still says you're domiciled there, they tax you on the full $150,000.
And that can lead to a surprise tax bill of over 11 grand on income that was supposed to be federally tax-free. Ouch. So, if you thought California sounded tough, you might want to sit down for this one. Virginia takes this whole concept to a completely different level. They have a rule that is an absolute trap for anyone who isn't aware of it. It makes it almost impossible to sever your Virginia domicile just by moving abroad.
And there it is, right there in black and white. Virginia's law basically says that moving to London or Paris or anywhere else outside the US, well, it just doesn't count. To actually break free from Virginia's tax system, you have to first move and establish domicile in another US state. So if you move directly from Arlington to Abu Dhabi, Virginia can legally tax you forever. So this table gives you a really quick lay of the land. Over on one side, you've got your safe havens, states like Florida and Texas with no income tax. Then you have the aggressive states, like California and New York, that will actively come after you. And finally, you've got these trap states, like Virginia, New Mexico, and South Carolina, that have these unique rules making it super hard to leave directly for an overseas job.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem and how it all works, and yeah, it's a serious issue, but here's the good news. It is solvable. With some careful planning, you can cleanly cut the cord and avoid this trap completely. So let's walk through the playbook. There's a really clear step-by-step process to do this the right way. Now, it does require a little bit of planning before you make your big international move, but trust me, this prep work is what's gonna save you from a massive headache and a massive bill down the road. All right, step one. This is probably the most crucial step, especially if you're coming from an aggressive state. You need to make a pre-move. Before you go abroad, you first move to a state that has no income tax. We're talking about places like Florida, Texas, or Nevada. This is how you move your legal anchor to a safe harbor. And you can't just get a P.O. box and call it a day. You need to physically live in this new state, for real, for at least 6 to 12 months. And during that time, you have two jobs. One, build a strong, documented life in your new state. And two, systematically cut every single tie you have to your old one. And these are the non-negotiables. You have to get a new driver's license in your new state. You need to register to vote there, open up some local bank accounts and move your money. And, critically, you need to file a final part-year resident tax return in your old state. That's you officially telling their tax department, I'm gone. So after you've spent those 6 to 12 months building your case and documenting everything, your domicile has officially been moved. That anchor is now firmly planted in a no-tax state. Now, and only now, are you really ready to make your international move, totally free and clear from your old state's tax grip. So as you plan your own journey, it really is worth asking yourself that question. Moving abroad is so much more than just changing your address. You're changing your entire legal and financial footprint. Knowing where your anchor is, and more importantly, how to move it, makes all the difference in the world.